An off-track excursion and then going out and being second quickest, Ryan Blaney. We saw you hit the curb with this race car. How much more unique is this car when you hit the curbs than the old one?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely, it shocks you a little bit more when you hit the curb. That's kind of how I spun. I hit the curb in 10 wrong, and it kind of shot me loose one way, and I overcorrected the other way. Luckily, got away with minimal damage. So, yeah, it's kind of a big jump there, and did the old overcorrect, and thankfully, I didn't hit anything too hard, but they are a little bit different. This car is a little bit more harsh, I feel like, when you're on the curbs, and we're using up a little bit more of the curves with this car than we could last year, especially in the S's and the lack of some of them turtles. So you have to be careful, and I think everyone got a feel for that. I definitely got a feel for that. But you learn and move on and focus on qualifying.
Good luck, Ryan. Thanks.
So those turtles are turtle-shaped speed bumps that they installed to keep cars off the off-track area, and they have been removed for this car. Oh.
It amazes me. It takes me right back to the simulator, the conversation that Tony and I were having, how these guys are just so up to speed. You know, the situational awareness, is it exactly the same, the real thing? No, but you can tell by how comfortable these drivers are getting into the corners, getting up through that gearbox, how they're attacking this track. The very first time they see that corner speaks volumes about the simulator program and how far it's come.
And I think this, what
wow,
we're
look
watching,
how roughed that off it. Sorry, I didn't interrupt, but man, that car was bouncing.
I think this course is much harder and more technical than what we see on screen and on camera. To see what these drivers, like you mentioned, going uphill into turn one here, it is blind. You have to find a reference for your braking point, and you have to find a turn-in reference as well, because once you get to there, then you finally see that apex at the top of the hill.
Now those bumps that you saw on that runoff and things like that, the wheel lock up, you know, all those things are what that simulator won't tell you. You know, you knew in that simulator you could use that runoff for speed, but you get off there and that thing gets dancing out there, that catches you off guard, just like the curb did with his teammate Ryan Blaney.
So as we watch the S's there, we got clarification from Larry that as long as the driver has two tires on the red and white rumble strips, that is legal. If all four tires are inside of the rumble strips, then you are off the course.
Which is exactly what you just saw Joey Logano do. That's perfect, but you can't be any farther than that. See, his inside or outside wheels are just right on the edge. I mean,
if we could actually see him stay all the way, all four tires on the black, you would see how drastically different and how much more he would have to turn the wheel and how much more he would have to slow down. So it is a huge advantage to cut off as much of that corner as you can to straighten the corner out.
Well, and not only straighten it out, what curb is there helps rotate the car. If you miss that altogether, that thing takes off in a push, and just like you said, the only thing you can do is slow down to get that thing to turn to make the corner. Lap time in those curbs for sure.
Now that rule applies only in the S's. It does not apply, say, at turns 19 and 20, where you're over on the runoff area seems to be the fast way around. Not just for NASCAR, Formula One cars as well routinely shoot off turn 19, use that runoff area, and come back at the exit of turn 20 onto the front straightaway. That's legal.
We heard Larry talk about, you know, the car and how it was designed, you know, almost designed for these very road courses. But you can see how low they are with that independent rear suspension. When they're that low, to get advantage of that under air that these cars use, the diffuser in the back, if you will, that means these things have to be pretty rigid to stay that low. And that's why those curbs upset these cars so much.
So as you look at the drivers on the pylon on the left, the drivers in Group A are in yellow. That means Daniel Suarez right now fastest in Group B. Tyler Reddick, Harrison Burton, Ross Chastain. Their names are in white. Those are the Group B drivers.